Hello and welcome to the Insights Overflow podcast, the show where we talk to customers, partners, and industry leaders about the lessons that they've learned in order to make an impact. In today's episode, I'm joined by Glen Webster, who's the Operations Director from Loadtech. Glen, how's it going?
How's it, Andrew? All good and well?
Good. So for those that don't know what Loadtech does or what load cells are, what would be your sort of 30-second elevator pitch of what a load cell or what Loadtech does?
Simple and basic. And a lot of students study it as well. It's the old Windstone bridge. So it's about resistance. What you put in is what you get out. So when you put an electronical signal through to a mechanical system, we measure that output as well on a millivolt signal. So basically that, and people that don't know load cells, I say that scale that you stand on at home, that gives you a weight, the components inside that scale is something we make, but on a higher level, on an industrial level. That's what we do.
And I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand the scope of like industrial weighing.
I don't think so.
I mean, even say like you wanted to fill a silo with millis. It's like, well, there's a couple of tons in there. Like how does one measure that?
Yeah. So there's many ways to measure it, but the most accurate way is with a load cell. So you could measure it with a radar, a probe, but load cells is your most accurate. And Loadtech has been around for a long time to help people with these problems. Self-leveling liquids, we always look at load cells in terms of that we can get a level indication. So if guys don't really have a budget, we say to them, if it's a self-leveling product, you don't have to put 4 load cells because the deflection in a leg is measured equally across all legs. So if you've got 4 legs, you can put 2 load cells in on the same side and measure the deflection on that. But when you've got something granular and the profile is different, you have to use 4 load cells on a 4-legged system, which gives the accuracy.
And if you had to look at it and say, well, why would be the reason somebody weighs something? So either, you've got a crusher plant and you're packing bags or you're loading trucks and weight equals money.
Exactly. Yeah. So everyone wants to measure their profits. So you don't know your losses. So if you can't measure something, you don't know what your income is. So, and with transport, even in the transport sector where we do weighing systems on trucks, the guy's top-end payload system, he's getting that last little bit of meat, and that is his profit. So if he overloads, he'll get fines and damages axle, which is warranties on claims, more maintenance on vehicles. You want to have the right weight at all times. So get the right payload, get the right money in. If you underload, you're also losing money. So it's very important to get the right weights and axle distribution on a truck. And it's anything in industry sector, be it cranes for safety. You want to know what you're picking up and that it doesn't go overload, because if you overload on a crane, there's safety of people, a load can come down. That's why they've got load limiters, that we measure the weight. So we'll do specialized pins. Loadtech customizes any weighing system or any load cell. And we've been in this industry since 1987. So we've been making load cells, and that's really our game. But we're evolving and we see where technology is going, and we want to be on board with all technologies.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the history of weighing, I mean, if you had to go back 50 years, what were people using to weigh stuff?
Well, they used to use an analog type system. If you look at if you went to the airport in the 80s, they didn't have a digital screen. They had an analog clock type screen which would tell you the weight. And that all worked analog wise in terms of a gauge, and it's pushing pressure up, old school style, and they used analog clocks. So it's really moved forward, digitalized, and people are now using CAN bus and Profibus, Modbus, all these different protocols, all these different digibus, but millivolts will always stay millivolts. And you can convert millivolts to voltage, or you can convert it to CAN bus or 485. So we've got all these different types of instrumentation that complements our load cells. And we put really good weighing systems together. So on belt weighers, we've got some nice stuff, which is modular. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've made things customized to fit on any belt weigher, on any conveyor. So it's really easy to measure whatever you want on that conveyor. And it measures your profitability, instead, especially in times like this, when electricity is important and saving electricity. You don't want a belt running empty and continuously running with no product on it. Because then we call it black belt time, because it's an empty belt, it's non-profitable, and you're using electricity, which is costing you. You want to bring your cost down and your profit up.
So for those that don't know what a belt weigher is, because you've got weight and you've got velocity of the material going through, right?
So we measure the speed of the belt, so it's revolutions per minute, and we call it either tons per minute, tons per hour, kgs per minute. So it depends what the customer wants to see. If he wants to see the kgs per minute, we can measure that, or we can measure tons per minute. So what we do is we put a tacho wheel on, which is a proxy that measures the speed of the wheel. It's the same as if you put an encoder on a motor that measures the revolutions, same sort of thing. And then we put load cells on an idler frame. So on the idler frame, if you put 2 idler frames in a row with load cells, you're extending the weighing platform of it. So the weighing, we call it bandwidth, length of the width of the belt. So you measure
bandwidth.
Yeah. It's not the real bandwidth, but it's the weighing band length. Yes. And that puts you in a place where the more load cells you put on the belt, you're giving yourself a longer wavelength.
Are you averaging across that?
So you're averaging across that.
Got it.
When you've got a smaller wavelength, you're only measuring that small little bandwidth or belt width, belt length.
So does your sample rate need to be higher than this?
The sample rate will be higher, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really works well. We've done some really good applications, and the customers are super happy because now they can measure what stockpiles are in. So they're running it daily. They can measure their stockpiles of how much they've produced daily. And we've increased profit on a number of quarries, and the guys are really happy. Mining operations. And we don't just offer that, we're a supplier of Loadtech, which, and in terms on the loader systems, we put weighing systems, excavator systems. So we really do a full package for the customer. And now with OQLIS and ViewIT, we've done data, which has changed the game for Loadtech.
I think that's an important thing, because if you look at the evolution of, let's call it weighing and weighing techniques, all these weights are not in like isolation. They all have to tie into different systems and things need to talk to one another. And what you mentioned about the black belt time and efficiency, all of that is calculations and measurements that you need to collect the information for in order to calculate. So I think, in this digital world, people are more comfortable, viewing that information on a computer screen.
Absolutely.
And less so on the device. Obviously, it's important to display that on the device, but people are more and more comfortable to say, let me view this somewhere else.
So we've brought down a lot of the costing, not only on belts and silos. So you'd have an operator daily going to take tallies. They'd write down the tallies of how much is it now, how much is it now, how much is it now. And they'd do a tally sheet. No longer is needed with ViewIT, because you can just by push of a button or go onto the app on Google Play Store or on Apple, Loadtech's ViewIT, you go press a button, say, look at the dashboard, boom, this is how much I've produced. We're giving now quarry managers the time to be more efficient in something else because they know that it's running smoothly. If maintenance is kept correctly, then we don't pick up any issues. Maintenance is very important on any weighing system. You need to ensure that there's nothing that's protruding or pulling or damaging the mechanical side of the weighing system. So let's take a belt weigh, for instance. If one of those rocks have to fall and push on the load side, you get in a different deviation. So the normal checks still need to be there in the mornings, where guys do a run and check that everything's clean so it can run for the day. But this is a moving thing, a dynamic thing. So if it's static, like a silo, you wouldn't have to do a lot of checks because it's not moving a lot. The weight is staying there. And if they batch it out, it depends how much they're producing out of that silo. Is it a storage silo? Is it a production silo? What type of silo is it? And the same with cranes. Sometimes you'll see the crane standing for a day, 2 days, and the next thing you'll see it picking up daily. It depends if it's a production crane or just a loading crane.
So, although basically you sell load cells, the key value that's sold is accurate weight measurement, that data becomes visible.
Yeah.
So when you, for instance, say like 2 years ago, I know like for you trying to digitize these instruments in terms of like pushing data to the cloud, it was something that you wanted to do.
Yes, great.
And I know, I think it was, last year, April, May, when we first started talking about, how do we do this and how does OQLIS play a part? Would you say like, what we've managed to build on ViewIT, would you say like that is the vision that you had, that you knew was possible?
Yeah, I knew the possibilities. I think the vision is there. I think there's still room for improvement always. I don't think there's not room for improvement, but I think in terms of the relationship and the partnership we have, it speaks for itself, because we look at the precision measurement of what customers need, and this has put it at their feet. So they're super happy with everything they're getting. I did, however, discover that we need to also internally support this. And we've done it, and we've got a wonderful product support team. We're building on this team. We've even got to a place where we can remote calibrate through the cloud, which is something that is not there with other suppliers. And we wouldn't have been able to do it if we didn't get the first start. So yes, we are there. The dashboards are looking good. Things are looking good. I'm looking to move things forward. I'd like to grow the product support and the ViewIT side of things. But yeah, it's made a massive change to the outcome and look of where Loadtech's going, because we have to change with the times. And I don't want to stagnate as a company. Loadtech's 38 years old. It's going to be 40 in 2027, which is a milestone for us. We'd like to reach it and make a success of it. Through these trying times in the economy, it's not easy, but Loadtech has got a good name out there, and we'll keep our name going until we have to say it is what it is. But we're not that type of company. So.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really, really enjoyed, we had a meeting, and you said, look, a mobile app is important to you, and it's important to your customers, because your customers they don't have the luxury of sitting behind a computer screen all day.
Exactly.
So their computer is their phone, and navigating to a website is just that one step extra that limits them getting that insight in their pocket.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad then you sort of push to say, well, cool, can we do this mobile app thing? And I think, just that process of saying, okay, cool, get the app built, and basically ViewIT sits inside there. And I mean, that was up and going in a week and a half or so.
It was excellent. I think the biggest thing I must say is, and with partnerships, we've battled to find really good partnerships with guys that want to invest with us and grow with us. With OQLIS, it's a no-brainer. It's a wonderful partnership. There's an understanding. The support is there. It's not a one-man type of show. And we've tried these one-man guys, and it really doesn't work. Difficult to get hold of someone. You've got a company that's supporting you. And that's what we want. We want support, because we see a future in this industry. We're the only manufacturer of load cells that is actually putting this together. I'm sure the others will climb on soon on the bandwagon, but we're at least ahead.
Yeah, way ahead.
And the mobile app is one of the main functions. But going forward, it's going to be a lot more efficient. They get notifications, they get all these things. So we'll get it to a place where we can customize, and we can do it now with some of the customers because we're changing some of their dashboards. We've got to a place where we're busy now actually at a quarry where we put in a smart TV up with all the different dashboards and templates.
Yes.
So the quarry manager, when he does walk in, he can just have a look at his TV and he says, yes, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that, I kind of never expected, when we started OQLIS more than 10 years ago. The intentions around the product were relatively straightforward in, like, say, more business analytics, like, oh, what is my sales? What is my cost? What is this? So what are these financial things? And then as the business evolved, what I'm starting to realize more and more is essentially we've built a platform for our customers to build their digital products on top of.
Absolutely.
Which, like, it sounds so obvious now, and but that's it's quite a revelation. And then, so you can essentially, as let's call it a business that's hardware orientated, you can get involved in the software digital game without having to develop everything from the ground up. Basically, there's a platform where you can piece the things together all the way from your device, sending the data, capturing it, processing it, visualizing it, and white labeled and branded under your brand.
So we've seen this gap in the market for the white labeling, and we've got some exciting stuff coming ahead. We're looking towards the new year already, where we want to help OEMs as well, where we can also put their logo to ViewIT. It will still be the ViewIT app, but we're looking to move forward with this branding aspect. And like you said, the data is the most important part of some of these customers with the profitability that they need to see. And with ViewIT, I've seen it, and the excitement in customers' faces when I start showing them, and they want to know what's happening. So we've started the dashboard now with the cranes as well. So the cranes have really now started picking up. We've had some interest from other OEMs. And we're excited.
And the important thing about the crane is that the instrument, the remote calibration is
for safety.
The big concern there, the safety.
On mines, the likes of Glencore, Anglo, all of these big mines, Sibanye, they want to know about safety. Safety is a massive thing. If you look how big safety has grown, this then complements it on the safety side of cranes.
Yeah, so I think just to explain it, for the audience, is that essentially what we're able to do is through a dashboard, essentially trigger an action that basically can communicate over the internet with the Modbus, the device receiving that Modbus signal and actually processing that Modbus signal directly on a device, all pressed from a button in the cloud on a website.
Absolutely, we just call that signature and we assign it back and send it back. So.
Which is amazing.
And we've got a good support team, I must tell you. It's been trial and error, but we're growing and we want to move forward with the support team.
Yeah. And, say you had to sort of project 5-10 years from now. The way that I see it is that Loadtech would almost become like a digital first business that just happens to two-way stuff.
But we will never forget our hardware where it starts. So Loadtech is diversified. We've got 5 groups already. We do air inflation on trucks. We're actually now doing some tests through ViewIT where we can monitor air pressure on the tires. We're busy looking at a weighing system for loaders, but with the support, we've got LoadRite still. So we've got a lot of customers that are based, and we're looking at the forklift market. So there's really a wide range of where this can go, and data is playing the biggest part because that's really selling some of the hardware that we've done already. We wouldn't have sold that hardware if we didn't have the data.
Okay, would you say that for sure?
For sure.
So I mean, what you're saying is that actually,
because you put in something in place that actually helps the customer. Guys don't want to mess around with the hardware.
No.
So we support the hardware. We've got service and technician teams. They're fantastic. We're on call 24/7. We don't allow technicians, obviously, from a certain time at night to go out because it's too dangerous on the roads. But by the next day, they're there. We've got a 24-hour turnaround time.
And actually, sort of your long-term vision is across all your different product ranges to have a digital offering that supports
Absolutely.
each one.
So we're going to look for the future, like you said, project 5 to 10 years. I project that each group will have its own platform. Might not be called ViewIT, there might be different names for it, but it will all tie into Loadtech's bigger picture, and we do see it going forward. So.
And then, obviously the hot topic of the day is like AI and sort of these large language models and things. Do you have like an opinion or a sort of an insight in your industry how you see like AI playing a part in
AI is playing a massive role in everything we're doing, be it through automation, be it through... People just want AI to fix it for them. And we can see it, the young generation coming through that are learning, these industrial engineers. I've got 1 or 2 of them by me. And they've taught me something. I'm old school. I come from an old school era, but I've learned some stuff and I'm loving it. I love AI, ChatGPT itself. And that's something that OQLIS has done really well with Lumen. Putting Lumen in this thing by asking it questions, because I use that as a sales pitch. I go there and I show them how Lumen works. And the guy says, this is fantastic. I don't have to ask the guy in the plant. I can just ask the Lumen a question and it gives me the answer. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I still think we can go in deeper and learn a bit more. We still need to build some more on the support side of our team, but we will get there. We'll definitely get there.
I think if one thinks about it as like a productivity mindset, I think that's the right way to think about it in a business context.
How can I make more money from profits?
Exactly. How do I do more with less is
that's absolutely
the age-old question. Glen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming to talk to me today.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the time.
And, what you guys have built sort of on top of OQLIS and, what ViewIT is today, like, it's really, really incredible. And the growth has been really, really impressive. So thank you for that.
No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the partnership going forward. I think it's a long-term relationship. I think there's many years to come.
Perfect. You've been watching the Insights Overflow podcast with Glen Webster from Loadtech. See you on the next one.